Thank you very much, Jamila.
Welcome. You're welcome.
So we can open that as well under the topic of the One Planet, One Nation on the forum, and see how people come in to work with it.
Yeah.
That we don't make walls. We have not built up no walls of distance, and we haven't made up no walls of non-acceptance. Everyone is accepted.
It's sometimes misunderstanding. So clarifying and say it again with another view or another perspective, maybe can give clarity to some people to join.
Jamila?
Yeah.
This is Soraya speaking again. Hello, Jamila. I think this is a wonderful idea, a wonderful approach, especially for the Oriental world, to approach on this way, to show them that they can merge actually both. Do you understand what I mean?
Oh, yes, exactly. I understand, and I feel it also. I have been discussing with Jalal as well, and this is the point we are raising.
Yes, and I think that this is the best way to show them they can have both, and they don't. It's not to cut them from their religion, from their beliefs. One day they will decide by their own what is the correct direction. But I want to say it's a wonderful idea, and I would love to join your call.
Oh, you're more than welcome. Sorry, I was expecting to talk to you, and you and Jalal and other people. We can do a wonderful call for our community to join, because I am sure I experienced that within my family, within my friends. They say, "Oh, you are changing things. It's too much change for you." I am telling them, "Do you see me? Do you recognize me? I am not changing. I am still the same. I'm just learning more." So it's just this kind of sharing or information that it can help to bring more people to join us.
Definitely. And I did actually the same like you. So I started with, let's say, with my daddy, and he's very strong in his belief, but in parallel, thank God, open-minded. And it was so interesting to see it works. So I tried to explain him this technology, this new knowledge, and he loved it. And of course, he refers to Allah, and I leave him this, the name Allah, because it doesn't matter which name you or which label you give it on top to this knowledge. I love to say this is our source. We are connecting with our source. We are connecting with our soul. And let's say the Oriental community, they prefer to use the term Allah. So leave it to them. It's okay. But as long we can merge, or as long we can add on the new knowledge to the knowledge what they have already, I think this can be a wonderful step forward.
Yes, and sorry, and I know, and we know there is a wisdom somewhere. We used to have this wisdom. When I listen to my grandmother, she has a wisdom which is beautiful to share, and she has no wall between religion or beliefs. She is talking about something universal. She like every race, every people, every nation. So there is a wisdom behind. I would like to reach it, by communication or whatever it takes. And once I feel once once we reach it, it will open up for many people to join us.
Yeah, spot on. And especially the elderly Oriental people, they have, as you say, they have already the wisdom. And it's sad to see how special forces they are twisting the truth to a lie. And I think it's our job to turn it back to the truth and add on the new knowledge. This is my opinion.
Yeah.
Now you understand why we integrated the 100 names and again the other 100 names from God and Buddha.
Yes.
They are in place for a reason, for them to understand that they are not excluded. They are within. Otherwise, this would have never even been implanted in the Universal Council Charter, because these are the beauties of the soul to be taught. And they came from those messengers. And if anyone can find more posting of the beauties of God in their religion, we embrace them, more than welcome to add them to the charter. Because once a year, the charter gets extended and adjusted, and that can take part. And then people will start understanding that they have found their place within it as well. Thank you very much, Jamila.
You're welcome. You're welcome. I'm very happy to bring this, and everyone can join us to make this call to reach the wisdom inside the conscience of everyone. It will be like we are peeling onion, and this onion, these levels or this insecurity, in this the fear, etc. We should peel them to remove and to reach this wisdom inside. Then we will have people joining. Thank you, Caroline. Thank you, Soraya.
You got so many religions which have printed the names of the beauty. So it's just a matter of collecting them and add them to the charter. Thank you very much. Maybe Vincent and Rick can add the email of the Universal Council, the one which goes to one point, which collects, and then we start directing them for them to be translated, that they're ready to go on the charter. Thank you very much.
Actually, the best way to contact them is by the Universal Council contact form at the Keshe Foundation site. So it's keshefoundation.org/about/UC. And at the bottom, you'll find the contact form for the UC, which will go directly to everybody.
Thank you very much. Is there another council member present, please?
Yes, hi Carolina. It's Pete, Universal Council member for the Polish language.
Good evening.
Good evening. Hi everybody. I do have one thing I'm slowly working on with one doctor from the foundation, and it's relating to vaccination. Not some countries, you could say more civilized countries, vaccines are optional. In other countries like Poland and I guess a couple of other in Europe, you don't have a choice. You have to be compulsory vaccinated, and now we got to extend that actually police can take your child to be vaccinated. There's no way to refuse it. Obviously, some parents are fighting the system back by sending letters, postponing the procedure, postponing it for as long as they can. But ultimately, the child can run into all sorts of troubles. Even kindergartens or schools are looking at the history of vaccination before they admit child. So it's getting to the point where in my view, basic freedoms such as freedom to decide what's injected into your body are no longer there. And it's very sad to see the amount of autism and other complications, other things that can arise as a result of vaccines. So really my wish, my intention, and a little project we are working on is to reach out to people who already suffered from unwanted vaccine effect from whatever vaccine was poisoned with, and hence develop some long-term conditions, or even for those who just fear, the effect of the vaccination, and they just want to prepare themselves. And we know from the teachings, we know that there is a way to prepare yourself if you have to be vaccinated. We know there is a way to deal with any condition that can arise from from being vaccinated, such as autism and so on. So really the little project we started working on is to firstly find a channel through which we can contact people who are in need, because we know that personal information, personal identifiable information is very difficult to get. But there are groups, there are organizations which kind of gather all the people in need with the same condition together and can be a point of contact to these people. So really the idea is to find a channel through which we can find people who are in need and are willing to proceed with the course of treatment, either to get rid of unwanted complications after the vaccine, or just prepare before they have to go and have one done. So really this is to, give, in the absence of freedom to decide for themselves, to give them tools so that they can at least not suffer from what's imposed onto them. Thank you.
Thank you. And Caroline, are you still there?
Yes, sometimes I have problems to find my button.
Right.
My microphone. No problem. Thank you for your patience. Thank you very much, Pete. And that will be very interesting to come and see on the forum how many people will start responding to this one. Thank you so much. Is there any other council member ready?
Yes, Carolina. This is Chao, for using member for the Mandarin.
Welcome, Chao. Good evening.
Good evening, and hello everyone. I'd like to talk about the Spaceship blueprint teaching in the last weekend. It's amazing, and it's a really amazing weekend. That for me, I learned a lot. So before that, I know about how to use gas, use materials, and how to create field. But through the teaching, and I really got to know how to measure something and do something precisely to create the field flow from a high one to a low one, and feed it back. And also, it's very important to make the field to feed itself. So we need, like John showed in the spaceship structure, that we need to use some structure to bend the field back to itself. And there are lots of stuff like medicine and agriculture in their teaching, and there are lots of knowledge. And for me, I like to say, what I want to say is, from the technology, we can have a different understandings in our traditional understanding of the world. We can view the world not in a physical way, but more in a plasma condition. And even we cannot see or at the present time, we cannot detect the field, but we have the ability to feel it and to try to interact with the field. And it's really nice. And so if we try to also look at the world in a plasma condition, and we can see the world consists of lots of plasmas. Everybody has a plasma in his or her body, and for a group has its culture. So every group has a plasma environment, and every nation also has its plasma nation. And now we are talking about the one nation, one planet, one race. But at the present time, we still have the nations and the borders, and in my view, there are like some problems caused by the nations and the borders. Practically, I like to bring about the news about the tariff. How to say? About the tariff war between China and America, starting from last month, and it's in a very severe condition, and like there are some like trading war, like trying to enhance their tariff a lot, and just like two plasma. One was both of them are very strong, and when they grow, and there are some tension created by them due to the interaction in the boundary. And at present time, it's in the commercial or in the business area, and so what I want to say is I see some tensions and between two powerful nations, and there are also some possibility like that would lead to a more dangerous or severe like a condition, maybe in the following couple of years, or maybe 10 or 20 years. And there personally, I have some worriness about this issue. And what I want to say about the application of the technology to solve the problem, as Ms. Cash told about the technology that to end all the weapons that can dysfunction all the weapons, because almost all the weapons has the electrical circuit inside it. And if we can create the field of the carbon, and we interact with all the electrical circuits in the weapons, so these weapons will be dysfunctioned, and that would be like one way to stop the war. And I'm not talking about a war, but I'm talking about like even some terrible issues happen, that there are some ways to stop it. And so I would like to devote myself to learn about the technology, like to know and understand and to feel about the interaction of fields, and to have more deeper and deeper until one day to use the technology and apply it to bring the peace, even some problems will happen, but it would be better that everybody accept it, because they see the beauty of the technology, that everyone has abundance, everything they need, and they can exchange and interact with each other. And the happiness comes from the interaction and the sharing, not comes from getting something or consuming something to get the energy or something. So so in another way, besides the development of the technology, I also see the importance of the education of the ethos, maybe of the universe, but we can see the ethos of the plasma technology and how to wisely apply this technology to bring the abundance to human, and also like educate people through this process. Yeah, so yeah, that's what I want to say. I mean, I don't have a I just let it go, and maybe it's not a practical issue or practical solution, but I just want to talk about what I thought. Thank you all.
Thank you very much, Chachao. Maybe I can add to your what you presented is, if you're knowledge seekers and you have found a path for what to apply what and how it can work, the time of traveling starts. A lot of people start preparing themselves to go on holidays, to start traveling and spend their time in other parts of the world. Why don't we give them a present in a wish to carry a bottle or a few bottles or some systems? I give you just a simple, kind little example. When people
Hello, Caroline. It sounded like mid-sentence that time. Okay, bear with us a minute while Caroline reconnects, and I'm sure we'll hear from her again shortly.
Oh, there she is.
Very shortly. Hi, Caroline. We lost you there for the last couple of sentences. We lost. Can you repeat?
Where did you lose me, darling?
For example.
Well, I guess we
From
lost
what?
you. After you said, for example, I think we lost the example.
Ah, the example. Maybe, pardon, certain things get like a little obstruction, if you have noticed, even with the knowledge seekers when they try to bring a message across, and it's very important. Maybe this is happening the same way. People are going to start traveling. It's for a lot of places, holiday time is coming. So if you're knowledge seekers and you know how to apply and you have built systems, give them as a gift to people which are going to start traveling. Let's say, as a little example, the people which are going to go and visit Israel. People are going to go and visit Mexico. People are going to go and visit Haifa and so many other places. Just give them as a gift, and the easiest way is, what is to harm in a water? What is there to harm in a bottle of water with GANs? And ask them to add them to the fountains, or place them in the corners of the street, or put them somewhere in a cathedral, that whoever passes gets blessed by your wish for world peace. Chachao, you can use this by allowing the knowledge to travel. I know exactly what you want, but when you have put them in place, as Mr. Keshe has advised so many times, they're connected through your field string because you created the Ganses. That wish is working instantly when, let's say, the package has arrived at its destination. And wherever it's passing the airports and the hotels, and wherever you travel, it's carrying your blessings. So if we can let a lot of people to travel, friends, neighbors, families, just to carry simple a bottle of Gans water, they can taste it, that they are sure they only are carrying water. Let them travel, position them, because they are connected to what you created. And maybe that's how you might be able to complete your vision, Chao.
Thank you, Carolina.
You're welcome. Any other Universal Council member? If you don't have a microphone, please inform the webmasters by raising your hand if you're stuck somewhere in a non-position with a microphone. Paul, are you willing to share something? If you have a stable line, please, that we can at least hear your message. Paul Yatut, can you hear us? Can you still hear me, Rick?
Yes, Caroline.
Because I'm not sure if I'm out or in.
Yeah. It's
most probably Paul cannot come on.
Paul, can
Sander, you're from what?
You were asking for Paul? Whether Paul can come on and
yeah, if Paul, yeah, but I don't see him responding.
No.
Maybe he will come on when he has a stable line. Is there anybody else from the council, please?
I wondered if Stefania would like to say something. Apparently not. So,
Caroline, are you present?
I don't see Carolyn here. Oh, yes, I do. Yes, I do. But she does not have a mic.
Okay, I noticed that Sander is there, present from the core team. Sander, what would you like to share for us on our path?
Thank you for inviting me. I have been lately busy in many various things, and after the Saturday and Sunday blueprint, spaceship blueprint lectures, I will get more deep into making and sharing more to the others that they can easily replicate and or get inspiration and go on their own ways.
Thank you, Sander. Rick, you are also from the core team. What is your vision, please? Can you share with us?
Well, for me, it's the weekend marked a change where once again we are asked as knowledge seekers to rely on our own knowledge and to start to work more with each other and to actually bring about these solutions that we talk about. And it seems over the next month, we were given the challenge, as it's called by Mr. Keshe, to work toward this flight condition and work with our reactors in a more serious way, and to to bring about the changes that we need to happen at this point in time, to introduce the technologies in a more advanced rate into the general population, so that people are prepared, have some idea of the changes that are coming up, what they call a sea change of difference of the way we engage with everything in our world. And that includes all of the aspects that the Keshe Foundation brings out, such as the health, the energy, the space technology, and so on. But really the core and most important thing that's a major change for all of humanity is this idea of the control of gravity, which means that we would be able to go to other planets, galaxies, and in the physicality. This is the possibility, as well as we've talked so much in the we can also travel in the soul body, or in our essence. So we have a lot of teaching, a lot of knowledge that needs to get out to the public. And as the Keshe Foundation is investigating more and more ways to do that, different ways of contacting social medias and going out in various platforms. But a large part of it is working through essentially a word of mouth process. And that's what we're doing through groups like this, and through Universal Council, Earth Council. And it's an amazing process. I'm very happy to be part of that process that is occurring now. And in spite of what we see as possible difficulties in the world, and we see the possibilities of war and the various wars that are occurring, and other environmental issues and so on. But with this teaching gives us an opportunity to focus on a more positive way going forward. So instead of focusing on the issues, we focus on the solutions, because we know we have the solutions. We've already proven that in many ways. And the knowledge is such that it's so vast and so encompassing that any possible issues can relatively be solved through the new technologies. It's kind of what is it called? The Swiss Army knife of technology. It's got all these different tools that can open out at any time in order to accommodate certain situations as they come up. So this is I think the beauty of this technology. It's so all-encompassing and so able to handle, well, virtually any situation that I've seen. I mean, we've in a way handled amazing situations through this group, for example. We talk about everything from somebody cutting their finger, or having a little owie on their finger, right through to world war, possibilities of world war. We've covered all variables in between, essentially, through this technology. So I think it's we're living in a wonderful time where we have the opportunity to witness all of this. And I think that's a big part of it, is just that word, to witness, to be there, to simply observe and be present for all of these revelations as they come out, and to be present for others, to help them in bringing this about. So
thank you very much, Rick, for sharing your opinion as a knowledge seeker. Vincent, you are also a core team member. Could you share your vision, please?
I think Chichao had it very right that the information or the knowledge that was brought forward, and it wasn't really brought forward, it was there to begin with. But what we have to really remember about it is that science today, mainstream science, takes the man out of the experiment, when we've been shown time and time again through this knowledge that the man has to be included into the science, because we are the best detectors. We are the best ones to know what is going on around us, and feel ourselves, or feel the fields with ourselves. So really, it's a matter of learning to trust your own self, and to feel it in your soul of what you're actually experiencing is true. It might be a different feeling. It might be something that you haven't felt before. And I know that there's many knowledge seekers out there that have gone through this process of understanding the science behind what Mr. Keshe has been teaching, and then putting into practice and feeling something very new, and not understanding of what's going on, and saying, well, this can't be doing this because this is something new and we've never been taught this before. But it's the progression of the knowledge that we have to be included into the experiment to be able to tell what is actually happening, and then move forward. And when we move forward, we will move forward into a new world, into a new life, not just in space, but everywhere. We have friends that are throughout this universe and more, and they will be there to help us. Our issue is getting out of the mentality of the mainstream. We have to trust ourselves and trust our souls.
Thank you very much, Vince. I noticed Danny Mo is here. Can somebody promote Danny Mo, please? Danny, can you be sharing your vision, please?
Danny, you should be able to unmute there now.
Yes. Can you hear me?
Hi, good evening. Yes, we
Hi.
can hear you, darling.
Sorry, it took a minute there to come back in. I didn't get your question, Caroline.
Would you like to share your vision on all your work as a knowledge seeker and teacher and organizer, and the one which takes a big responsibility on the testimonials? What would you like to share with us, please?
Wow, you caught me cold here.
I do, but we're all part of the team, so.
Let it come from your soul.
Yes. What I did notice over the last year and a half doing the testimonials, that in the beginning there were a lot of experiments done, and people couldn't wait to discover new things, and it was a bit like a kindergarten, and it has over time moved to a more soul orientated kind of experimenting. People do add their feelings about the experiments, or what has changed when doing it, or when touching, or when feeling or seeing the fields. And a lot of people are not afraid to publicly speak about it, which I think is just what we need. because especially men in this society have been raised in a way of not talking about what they feel in order not to be ridiculed. So I really enjoy seeing that, and I also can see the differences sometimes from people having joined a year ago and development today. There is something happening, and it feels, a lot of people are giving feedback saying this actually is my family. This feels like a home, and I miss the group when there's a weekend or a holiday or something. So yes, this really has grown together, this community, and not just in one language. I think we're coming closer in all language groups. So this would be the first thing that comes into my mind. And although we're not meeting personally, it does feel as if we know each other for quite some time, and even personal conversations coming into existence. So yes, that would be something I would like to share. Thank you.
Thank you very much. So what you're noticing is that we are slowly but surely uniting as a family.
Caroline.
Yes, that's what it feels for me. Yeah.
Thank you very much. Elizabeth, are you be able to move to be promoted to speak, please? Because Elizabeth has been in the different parts of working of and in the foundation, and she recently has come in to host a lot of teachings. She's a wonderful lady, and I would like to hear your vision on what will be in the best benefit of humanity. Elizabeth, are you there, please?
I don't see her. Do you see her, Rick?
Yes, she is present.
Caroline, it's Stefania. Sorry, I couldn't find the hands to raise. In my...
Just one moment, Stefania. Elizabeth is coming up now.
Yeah, it took a while for her microphone.
I'm so sorry. My computer puts me into la la land when I get promoted. So I didn't really hear your question there, Caroline. I heard my name and then I went into la la land. And it's about a minute, so I do apologize. Could you ask me the question again, please?
No problem. You heard me presenting you?
Just Elizabeth and then somebody.
Blank?
Yep, because once I'm promoted, there's something about my computer that just takes me into about a minute. So whatever you said, I was sitting here going, okay, dear soul, let me just pick it up. But it was like...
No problem. I introduced you like you're Elizabeth. You are part of the foundation, working, translating, transcribing, supporting, hosting, student. You have many, many tasks taken on your shoulder. And recently you're coming more and more in as a host to support teachings, and students will get to know you more and more. And you are a wise lady. And I would like to hear your vision of what will be possible in your view for the foundation and the knowledge seekers to work better.
Okay. Well, one of the things that I noticed is that if we're trying to reach an English audience, most of North America is excluded because of the times. And I know we're maybe working towards changing those times, but getting up at 5 or 4 a.m. to do a 5 a.m. class, I'm the lucky one in North America because that's the latest. But in the Eastern time zone, that's 4 a.m. The Central time zone, that's 3 a.m. And the Pacific Coast time zone, that's 2 a.m. And only some very, very dedicated souls like Rick and Vince and Flint and a few other knowledge seekers can do that to themselves. And I did, but it really did wear me out because I'm an older woman. And so working towards changing the times for some of our, especially for the private teachings, but even for the Thursday morning workshop, that's a 3 a.m. wake up call for me. And across the country, it's even earlier. So trying to look at ways we can reach a larger English audience, but then also looking at Australia and the Asian people, because a lot of Asian people do speak English. So finding that time that might be more conducive to making it more attractive for people to come and listen. I have
your wish is coming true because there are people present which are working on the time table for the education. So they will take this to heart and it will change. Yes.
That's beautiful. And then,
so
yes,
your wish is... Sorry.
I'm glad to hear that, Caroline, because I think it will make a very big difference to our numbers, and more people, English-speaking people, will be attracted to this work. And I know I am. I love this work. In regards to the transcribing, I cannot say, I can only interpret. When if you said I'm a translator, I'm not. If I tried to actually translate some of the work, I would be doing a big disservice to the French community because I never studied the written way of writing French. I can do it verbally. For instance, if someone who's French speaking comes on, I can interpret for them or translate live. But the physical translation, and we mentioned earlier that the French group need more translators. And I do hope the French Canadians that do understand English, of which there are many, would rise to the occasion because we need you. We really do, as well as the African people who speak French and write French. We need you. For me, it's just, I wouldn't even know how to write it properly besides using Google Translate. And even then I wouldn't be able to check the mistakes. Now in the English, I loved doing the transcribing, but then things changed in our transcribing team and it became we were too few to keep it going. And I'm hoping there will be changes so that I understood that there's a potential that Zoom will actually do an automatic transcription for us, and then all that will need to be done is check it. Because I feel terrible seeing that from about 214 on, there are no subtitles for our videos, and we were able to do all of 200, the year 2017 were transcribed, but there's a lot more work to be done, and it takes very dedicated souls to keep at it. And I'm hoping somehow that does get regulated. And I understand our beloved brother Flint is in charge of it. And I think he is a fabulous, this man is so talented, but he has so little time because he has so many tasks under his wings. And so for me, that area needs to be revisited because I actually got burnt out and I had to leave the team. And then I did focus on trying to host. And I did do a lot of hosting in October till just recently. Because Flint was so busy, I was just standing in for him and trying to help him. And I learned a lot, and I really did enjoy hosting. I encourage others to get involved in the hosting. I'm also seeing maybe there is a better way for us to help the students that sign up figure out what they want when they come into the classes. What level are they at? And so that there may be some beautiful teachers amongst them already, and they don't even realize that they're at a level 1 or 2 or 3. And I think understanding the levels that will qualify us to teach may help students understand where their own strengths are. So I'm hoping something like that will be implemented in the next semester. And these are just ideas that we've been throwing around. I am amazed at how much knowledge lies within each and every one of us. It may come from a different background, but when you bring it all together and start to understand the plasma sciences, for instance, listening to Ursula talk about being a naturopath, how beautiful is that we have a naturopath amongst us who is now reaching out to the plasma sciences and incorporating that in her work. And I have a background in yoga. And I've just, again, now that I'm not getting up at 4 a.m. in the morning, I'm finding time to do my own routine. And it's not a long routine, but I had let it slide for almost a year and a half because my mornings were very, very packed with being involved with the foundation. And I'm very happy to take the knowledge I've learned and incorporate that into just breathing and feeling the attributes of God while I'm breathing and sending that out to the universe. And so I know that that's one of the skills I could possibly bring in, just reminding people to breathe, reminding people how wonderful everyone is and always looking for the best in every situation. And Caroline, your private classes have been so essential for each of us, but particularly for me, to see where things I was doing were not conducive to my own well-being or to the well-being of other people. And we talked about that just a little bit, the news, the negativity, that watching movies that are negative, we keep indoctrinating, reprogramming negative stuff into our heads when we pay attention to the negative stuff. And so reminding myself of that and others, and also learning how we've all learned to lie. It's an exercise I do with my roommate now, because she, like me, and many people, we tend to exaggerate. There were 20 people in the lineup at the grocery store and I had to wait for hours. Well, if you really look at that statement, there might have been 5 people and we didn't have to wait for hours. We waited for 5 minutes. But this tendency to exaggerate makes our own words lies. And when we start to recognize, wait a second, I'm reinforcing a lie when I exaggerate, and that makes me a liar. And I know there's white lies and all that stuff, but it really is so important for us not to blame anybody or anything else, but look at how we contribute to the old ways of being. And it's up to each and every one of us to change our own ways of being, to be fully transparent, to be the most beautiful souls that we are. Again, a beautiful teaching from you. And if we repeat, I am a beautiful soul, I am transparent, that's what we become. And so this is what I'm hoping, is that all the teachings you and Mr. Keshe have passed on to us become so embodied in us that every interaction we have is uplifting as opposed to downward. So that's how I'm envisioning, just that we keep uplifting each other, that we keep. I wrote a letter to Justin, Prime Minister Trudeau, and I was so grateful for all the work that I had received, all the knowledge I had received, because I could see where words that I was addressing to him were negative. And I kept changing it around so that it would be a positive, uplifting letter for him to receive, so that, to say to him, I have faith in your heart. It's empowering. But to say, oh, you're a bad prime minister because you're doing this and this and that, that's not empowering. So learning which each word I use, which every response I make to people, that it's uplifting. I hope that's helpful.
Thank you very much, Libby. And for sure, we picked up a lot of knowledge that we can take in account for the layout. And most probably, you will be more than happy to be able to be hosting in your time zone. And students will also be more glad to be live in the classroom in their time zone. So we will take that in more than in account. Stefania, you are ready to, thank you, Elizabeth. Stefania, you're ready to give us your vision on the Italian, please? Are you ready to have your teachings?
Sorry, which is the question? If I'm ready to give I don't understand the question, sorry.
If you have positive news about the Italian community.
Positive news about the Italian community. I'm just organizing, I'm trying to organize with Giovanni, the translator. This is what I'm trying to do. And I know that Giovanni's got a list of teachers, so I think it's a matter when they're ready, and then we're gonna definitely start to teach in Italian again. I want to actually say something about after this weekend. Unfortunately, I couldn't see Sunday, and I couldn't saw it in internet. For some reason, I can find it, the Sunday blueprint. So because unfortunately I was teaching the day and all day in school, and I couldn't, even though I was logged in, I couldn't listen. Yeah, about Saturday, the things for me impressed me most was what Kesh did with Naomi when she was in the reanimation room, and when Giovanni was describing the whole what happened. Kesh started to have this big voice, and Naomi that she could not possibly move at that time because she just had an accident very recently. He started to, from another room, he started to talk with Naomi and make her move each limbs like a Muppet. So for me, that one definitely is my vision on for me, when we talk about elevation of our soul, reach to that level of communication. So where Kesh could communicate with the soul of Naomi, and Naomi clearly was communicated with the soul of Kesh. And that it's the goal where I see the whole world going. Now, like everyone just said now, Rick, Vincent, Peter, everyone, Dami. Definitely the best things we can do is working together and working together, and definitely working together, I think will make us easier for each one of us to reach that level of elevation of the soul. And just by listening what Keshe did with Naomi, it's very outstanding. Basically, like he said, he brought it back to life. Was very, and that if that is the level where we can go, and each one of us can go. I mean, definitely don't want to settle for less. In my case, yes. So I really wish for the Italian community and for all community of the whole world that we all together reaching that way to be. Yes, thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Stefania. Dr. Klaus, are you present?
Yes, I'm present.
Thank you very much. Would you like to share your vision, please?
Yes, of course. Thank you for asking. I would like to take this opportunity today about something very specific, about something I did in the last years. You know, I collected in the last years a lot of different ganses from beautiful souls around the world. And there is a bottle now in my house, and we have all continents inside, more than 50 countries in there, from over 150 knowledge seekers. And I had it somehow not standing around, but not giving so much attention to it in the last months. And last week, suddenly a path brought me to the bottle again. And I realized the beautiful way how this collection of ganses helps me to communicate with all the souls of the people. And then I had just the picture in my mind that I would like to spread it more. And I put some of the ganses in it, some of this world gans, or however we call this, in a dynamic system. And I saw how the love of all the people spread around the world when I switched it on. And I realized that in this bottle, we have already all the continents united. We have also united countries you were mentioning today in the last weeks and months, which are fighting against each other. And I realized that in this bottle, in this ganses, in the field as a plasma, we are already united. We have all the continents inside. We have beautiful ganses from Africa, from the States, from China, Australia. Everything in one bottle. And I thought there is a reason why I found my way to the Vulcans, to this bottle. And I'm pretty sure that there are also ganses from souls around the universe inside. So I thought there is something, there is a sign, and I just have to interpret it in the correct way. And now I would like to take this opportunity to give this collection away from me as being attached to me. And I would like to give this collection of love as a gift to the Universal Council. And I don't know how we're gonna exchange this physically. It's more or less, it needn't be in the, it can be, of course, it can be in the physical part also, but it was for me such a beautiful picture that we are already united, that we are already in peace with each other, and that we have a kind of picture when we look at this bottle. We have already united the fields and the forces in the background. And as we know, plasma technology works on the field level. And as we saw, especially at the weekend, matter follows, or we can produce out of the fields matter again. We come from the matter, extract the fields, do whatever we want to do with the fields and go back to the matter again. So the whole circle is closed. And also this bottle represented for me this unity. We already live here. And right now we can feel this. Every time I feel this kind of unity, my hair stands 90 degrees, which is also the thing currently. And this is something I would like to give as a gift to the Universal Council. And I think this is a good opportunity now to do this, whatever we're gonna do with it. With the water from it is already in a lot of waters, in a lot of rivers, in a lot of seas. When I was in China, I took it with me and we exchanged the water of it, and there came new Gans water inside from the Chinese community. When we met in Rome once, twice, I had it with me. We exchanged, we spread it, and maybe it can be a kind of way to visualize, to give a kind of sign to the people that they carry the unity in themselves. So, Carolina, this just came out of me when you asked what are my thoughts to the day and to the last days. Of course, the weekend was one of the most beautiful weekends I've ever spent, because we saw how the whole family of the foundation worked together on different fields, and then we realized that everything can be united also in one, wouldn't say device, in one soul, as we called it in Spaceship. As we then realize that we can build it in the physical way, but we carry it already through our body and through our soul. And when Mr. Keshe said then that, for instance, the Earth with its fields is being shaped by the sun, another field, it just clicked on me that again, that the fields form the matter, and we are currently, most of us, more or less trapped in this matter state, but we really realized that there wouldn't be any matter without the fields behind it. And now we really managed it to go to the next step, creating the fields, and so that with these fields we can influence, create, or whatever matter again. And I think this is it. This is all what we needed to find out the power of what? The power of ourselves, the power of our soul, because with this soul, as a comparison with the sun, what Mr. Keshe wanted to say, we can shape a lot and we can create a lot. Yes. Thanks a lot for the opportunity.
Thank you very much.
Give you a big hug.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Klaus. Renan, are you present? Can you share your vision, please?
Hello, Mrs. Keshe. Yes, I'm here.
Hello, good evening, Renan.
Good evening. Good day to all. Been away for a while for the past year, and I just want to share the great things that just happened. Even I was not present during the past year. The basically I just see the foundation here coming as a real as a family, as I was experiencing for the past year in our family. We really had a great time of really using the technology in every aspect that we have. So I was not thoroughly experimenting on much on the reactors, but how we utilize basically the knowledge of the materials or using the nanomaterials, or also how I relate it and teach it to my children, gave me a confidence on what is the future for, especially for our child to be in the coming years for this for the planet. And basically, I was just inspired that during the past years, utilizing the technology, utilizing the knowledge, it's always been there with me that everywhere I go, when we just apply in our outreach or we apply it basically with our friends discussing these things, it really evolves my soul to a different level wherein there's much wider scope of acceptance to all. And it's like being not limited to the boundaries that has been given to every human being accordance to what school of thought you are, what religion you have, uh, what part of the society you are being. So there's no limits already. It has been there's a large change in my mind in that aspect, and as well as I basically in my family. So for this Universal Council for the Keshe Foundation, I can see there will be a better or a wider scope of range that it can reach. As it has reached already to a global platform right now, and I totally am so happy and grateful that I've been back right now in doing some other research for the foundation, and also I'm seeing different things opening up also for the foundation in the Philippines, slowly but surely, but hopefully we can do more things here as we still continue in a small scale what we are doing. That's all. Thank you so much for the time, and thank you so much, Mrs. Keshe, for giving me this opportunity.
Thank you very much, Renan. We all know that you are working hard where you are with your team, and you're bringing so much knowledge and especially a lot of elevation of pain, because you are working mostly in the hospitals and on the street and helping and supporting people with all the knowledge you have gathered, and you're giving it for free. It is a beautiful work. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mrs. Keshe.
You're welcome. Mutirayan, are you present, please? Can you speak, Moti? Do you have a microphone, please?
I just promoted and be here shortly.
Yes, I'm present.
Hello.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yes, we can. Yes, we can, Moti. What is your positive vision that you would like to share with us? And if you can introduce yourself, please.
I see that Keshe technology can be used in many areas, to real things, especially like plants, trees, and other things. So I thought of making a water out of fresh air using plastic, because it will be very useful in deserted areas to give life to more people. So that's my vision, to do more things in creating more water for people around the world. Right now, that's the only thing which I have. As days goes on, I like doing research on more things.
Thank you, Moti. Is that all, Moti?
Yeah, that's all for now.
Thank you very much. Anyone else would like to share their vision in the positive way? Does anyone have his hands up, please?
Yes, we do have a couple of people with their hands up. Mosfak.
Thank you. Yes, please. Mashfaq is a Universal Council member.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yes, we can. Thank you.
Okay, so you are asking about my impression of today, the weekend's material. One of the things that's most interesting is that we are all doing our separate things of various ways. The amazing thing that is very noticeable this weekend is that we do one thing. Let's say I do one thing, but it affects many things. And I will give you a concrete example of what. So I'm experimenting with this roof garden that we have. And so I created some reactors. These are not motorless reactor, but they're connected to each other by gradient. And there is a flow across these. So you can think of it as the base of the star formation. And so we had some pest problem, and there were a few plants that were not doing too well. And it's kind of like winter months, but the weather is getting fairly warm, so some of the winter plants are difficult to grow. So I thought, instead of doing the GANs individually to the plants, I will create a circulating field to affect all the plants. So I started doing it, and I noticed that the mango tree which had like bug problem, a serious bug problem. So, and that was going away. Similarly, some of the trees that were getting dry because of as the heat increased, which are winter plants, started getting better as well. The tomatoes are doing well because tomatoes don't grow in tropical climate very well. So all of these trees were getting affected by the circulating field, which is mainly CO2 and CH3. Now, this is all well and good, and I'm sure people, my family and everybody else that's in that building, it's a 4-story building, were affected. The most interesting thing is that I was focusing on getting all the plants in better health, no matter whether it's bugs or drying off or various other things. But then we noticed that the car garage is also within the field. So I have these coils in the car, which gave like 30% improvement in power and fuel efficiency, but the car was affected as well because of this circulating field. So we got some more improvement out of the car. So in a way, what this weekend is doing is that we are doing one thing, let's say putting GANS water in various water, but it is affecting many things. And this is a very concrete or physical example that we have to relate to physical examples. But at the same time, this is on the physical plane, that whether we are affecting health of plants or of people, we are affecting other things and maybe other life forms that we are yet to be familiar with here and perhaps even outside of here. And this is the most interesting part. So I'm not calling my car a life form, but nevertheless, this effect is very palpable and tangible at the physical level. And the plants are getting affected emotionally. And I am sure that other levels are being improved positively. And in our quest as Universal Council to bring together people and other beings that we know, is also carrying with it the impact and the intention both of affecting other beings unfamiliar to us here and elsewhere. And I see that to be, I feel that to be rather, something that's bringing the future closer to us, or the future where we will be together with them, knowing and meeting them. And so little physical examples, yes, we do need them, but the impact is beyond the field strength of the physical dimension. So this is what I'm very hopeful about. And I see this weekend to be another sort of expansion of this field in including more elements in our reality. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Violet. Okay.
Violet, are you present, please? Sorry, Rick, do you have somebody's hands up?
Yes, someone who I was thinking of calling on anyway, and he had his hand up, Thomas Poles. If he can go ahead, that'd be great.
Hello, thank you, Rick. Hello, Caroline.
Hi, Thomas. Long time no hear.
Yeah, I'm starting to make my way in a more public appearance now, so it's good to get involved at this time.
Thank you very much.
I missed the first hour. I only got a couple hours of sleep, so forgive me if I missed anything at the beginning, but I've been very passionate about a vision I've been holding for quite some time. And it started when I was really young. I'm turning 28 next month. And I remember having a really strong feeling in my stomach, like a butterfly feeling. And it was just a general feeling of excitement. And I never could associate with anything at that time. And as I've grown older and understand our position in this world at this time and what this world is calling for, I believe the work that we're doing is making this dream come true, and that's uniting everything, this one nation. And my vision is if people could understand and feel what that would be like, it would have a profound impact, because we have everything we need right now to change this world. It's only our hearts that need to shift. We have enough wealth, resources, and knowledge to clean up the environment and everything else. So I'm really happy to actually be a part of that vision now and making things change in the physical. So thank you everyone for what you're doing here.
Thank you very much, Thomas. Uniting is so important, that we all go in the same direction. That's what Mr. Keshe keeps on repeating. If we all go in the same wish, we are strengthening the field strength. So that field strength becomes so heavy or so loaded, whatever name you want to put on it. And I think it was a big eye-opener for a lot of people, visitors and knowledge seekers and students and teachers worldwide, which are still going through the 2 days of presentation, which was live. And all the reactions are the same. It is amazing, absolutely amazing what has been achieved and all the work that has been done in so many ways in silence for it to be completed. Some parts were shared, some parts were not. And then you have the people which go and laugh and insult. But I comfort those because they were shaken. Please do the same with the people which are in your surrounding, which receive the same way of behaving from others. Just wish for them that they will receive so much that they can come a step closer to you, so that they can receive and be happy and be comfortable. As Jamila brought forward, the comfortable zone needs to be created, that we don't expect nothing from nobody except one thing Mr. Keshe has always repeated from day one. That is, what you learn, teach to another. Share your knowledge for free. We are setting up structures and we are working hard on it, but this weekend has taken a lot of priority. So a lot of things which could not be finished in different parts of the foundation are gonna get finished now in the next few weeks. It's simply we're running out of time to spend time and to even get into meetings to solve the problem. That is that the platforms for the knowledge seekers which are suffering, which have no income, which are in a struggling position. Be patient, please. We are solving those problems. We need a little bit more time because we will open the doors for people to work through the foundation for them to become comfortable. As Mr. Keshe always says, it is no use that if you are teaching and you are sharing knowledge, for you to suffer, for so many others to have, let's say, a free ride and enjoy the pleasure while you have to suffer. No. We have heard your voices. We see the posts going back and forward. We see the information and the struggle. We are not blind. We are not deaf. But this weekend presentation took a lot of time from all the management and the knowledge seekers working on the background. So please be patient a little bit longer. We are structuring everywhere on every platform possible. That means nobody is excluded. You are just a knowledge seeker which is teaching, or even not being recognized as a teacher or certified. You are as equal as everybody else. We highly respect any soul that passes the teaching on to another soul. It doesn't matter where you are on this planet. It doesn't matter with and how, through what kind of meanings you're trying to get the teachings across. We hear you, we see you, we respect you, and we will solve these problems. Just give us a little bit more time. One at a time will get solved. You just heard the first positive change with the question of Elizabeth. Yes, we will change the timetables that 24 hours will be coming into place for you to follow teachings. Yes, we will add people to the translations. We will add people to the transcribing. We will make sure that the workshops and the work that they will go into public, so then you can create a more comfortable position for you in your life. But please make yourself known for what you can contribute to the foundation, that we can work more as a foundation, as a family, because then your beauty starts coming up, your steadiness is coming up, and then we can integrate you as the doors are opening in so many different countries, in so many different languages. Me and Rick, we had a nice laugh about it. We said, people, you're not gonna run out of jobs, because we are creating more and more and more platforms for you to be able to donate, share, teach, and even have the comfort to look after your family. Just give the foundation the time to grow, because more and more people with different expertise are coming in. Show who you are, show what you can do. We have been requesting on different platforms to map out worldwide where the knowledge seekers are, where Keshe Foundation points are, without the exact point, but approximate location would be very nice, so that we can show you on our map of the world as a family, that people see that every day, most probably, there will be a new flag added, or a Keshe Foundation sign, or a KF SSI sign. Make yourself known that you're part of the family. Be welcome, no matter who you are, as long as you give and share and teach. That's all we are requesting in His beauty. Is Violet present, please?
I am, Carolina.
Hi, Violet. We heard you sometimes in the presentations. Would you like to share your positive vision on knowledge or foundation or Keshe Foundation family, please?
Wow. This past weekend was fantastic, as always. Mr. Keshe and you, Carolina, bring such knowledge and wisdom and love all in one. It's in one package. And once again, just when I think you can't top yourselves, you go and top yourselves. I apologize. I've got a lung infection. So hold on one second. With this weekend, it was putting nice little, all the loose ends were all tied up so that the packages all had these beautiful bows and ribbons and streamers on them. by the time we ended on Sunday. It was so beautiful. The health has tied together with the flight, with having elevation and lift, and it's tied in with the agriculture, and they're all interlocking pieces, just like we are. And you brought us all together, and you have us holding hands across this globe and universally. And I love you, and I thank you all for being here, all of us. Thank you.
Yes, you're welcome, darling. Joseph, are you present, please? I think you're from Austria.
Yes, I am present. What I have to contribute is that the KF Wiki is getting to the place where all the informations about the plasma technology are finding together. We are working on it. We need some more people to work on it, but it's getting bigger and bigger. At the moment, just small new sites and new informations, but it is growing, and we will see the beauty of it.
So you can use some more hands?
Yes, of course.
In what direction do you want more hands, please?
To fill in at the moment the informations from the blueprint teachings from Saturday and Sunday, and further on to make something like an experiment category, so we can share our plasma experiences and our experiments with each other. And for the first, that would be great. And some other sections will come in the future. Everybody may contribute. Everybody can add new sites and add informations to it. But at the moment, we are a very few people that are contributing. And it's for all language groups.
So can we give them somewhere where they can come and let anyone, or who do they need to inform that they want to become part of it?
At the KF Wiki site, there is in the right upper corner a button to get an account. And after you how should I say, you got the account, you have to fill in a form, and then you get an email with the password, and then you can log in. And after that, you can edit the sites. If there are failures on some articles, you can correct it. You can make your own sites, but you have to wait till one of the admins has the time to look to look through that what you have done and to accept it. It's not that you are making a new site, add informations, and at the same time you press the save button, you can see it. You have to have a little patience till somebody from the team could go through it, and then it will appear.
Okay. That is nice information. And can somebody put the links up that people can find their way to the wiki, please?
Can I add some information, Carolina?
Yes, Klaus, I was waiting for it. Yes,
it was
sure.
it was so beautiful listening to you, Joseph. Thanks a lot. You know, it took the German community, I guess, 3 or 4 days to take over the German wiki, completely independent, and translation was done, I think, in 3 or 4 days from existing sites. Additionally, correction of it because there was some old information inside. Still, there is something for you to find and correct and to improve. And after the 3 or 4 days of bringing it more or less to the same state, synchronizing it with the English one, they started to develop their own topics. And this is what the wiki is for, just the instrument. And the German group took it over and is working on it completely independent. And I would like to thank you, Joseph. I would like to thank all the members. It's not the person. We are working as a group, as a common soul on it. And as it is stated at the beginning of the wiki, it also helps us seeing and working together on one page for doing what? For preparing the knowledge, for knowledge seekers, for mankind, for being able for them to access the information much more easier than we could have or did. So, and what I've seen now in the German community, it is amazing. I think the next one is the Italian, and next one is the French one. Already Spanish knowledge seekers are forming in the background, Romanians, Polish, and hopefully the Chinese wiki is gonna start soon. So in the background, there happens a lot. And thanks a lot again to all the knowledge seekers who take over responsibility over their own language wiki. And at the same time, communicate with the other languages, because this is also the beauty of it. As we see, if one language wiki, if one person, if one group, if a soul develops a new site or creates a new category, like we call it in the wiki, and others find it beautiful, then they translate it into their languages and we cross-link it. And so we can build up knowledge very quickly. Thanks a lot again, kfwiki.org. And Joseph, I give you a big hug. Ich umarme dich. Vielen Dank dafür.
Thank you very much for the hard work of those working on KF Wiki. I just like to ask one little thing from the editors and reviewers. If possible, always refer to the information, to the source where from it comes. Where Mr. Keshe said this and this, it could be a simple link to a video with the timing. Because I see there is that beautiful poster and beautiful descriptions about creation of the ganses, and still after half a year after I noticed before, it's still the wrong information that for CH3 GANs to use a blank Eisenplatte or a bare iron plate, which is not the proper way how to make CH3. Mr. Keshe always taught us to use a zinc-coated, galvanized iron plate. So please correct that information. Otherwise, people are going on a wrong model or wrong pattern, and they deceive that they don't achieve the expected results. If you want a working Maghreb unit, you need to have a good CH3. Without a good CH3, it will not produce too much.
I think in the Wikipedia, can't people go in and make the corrections? Couldn't Shander go in and make the actual correction in Wikipedia, or how does that work?
And if an admin will have time to see it, will oversee it, and so on, so on. So, sorry, I have not much time for that editing, start signaling and signaling on the channels which I can. Probably the editors who are taking care of those pages, and I hope that somebody will once listen and will do the correction, because they always have the access to editing those pages.
Yes, you had access for nearly 2 years, so more. The thing with the CH3 is corrected, but where you are correct, it is there is a picture inside where this information still was on it. But in the text, if you have a look at it, there is already, since 1 or 2 weeks after it was published, the zinc-coated iron inside. But what you mentioned is really very, very important, Sandro, and thank you for this. We are working on a kind of how to cite correctly. And this is something we have to grow into, not just writing, also citing where is the source of it. And we are developing a page now where the main things are on it, how to cite correctly when Mr. Keshe talks. Even if we cite the YouTube, it can be cited. We use basically as a guide the upper style. And upper style is more or less a guide how to cite correctly, how to tell the people who are reading it where the source is from. And this needs to be developed, and I invite everybody to take part of it.
Thank you very much.
I am marking here the places. It said that it was correct in the text, but I see it's still iron plate, even in the German version.
You are in a page which
KF
is maybe shown,
yes,
which is maybe shown. You just go the correct way. You maybe have loaded it from previous times.
It's from here. It's I followed. I came in recently, and I just followed the links.
So if you go back to the main,
this was the most recent revision. This was the most recent revision. Look, I click on the most recent revision, and it's here. This is mentioned as the most recent. Yes.
I think you're in the wrong page, so we can discuss this later.
Okay, sorry. So
yes.
How to get on the right page?
We can discuss it afterwards. I think you have something saved on your computer.
No.
Which is more or less. I definitely know that this page was corrected, I guess, more than a year ago, but we can talk about it later.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you. Jeanette, do you have access to your microphone, please? Hello. Jeanette, would you like to share something with us, please? Jeanette Orozoko, if I pronounce it correctly. Yes. I'm sorry if I don't.
No, it's okay. I understand. I have a very difficult name. I apologize for the noise. I'm not in a closed space. I am in the open, so I apologize. Well, one of the things that I have noticed being a student of the school, and really I have entered to participate the last months. It hasn't been a long time that I've been participating actively in the foundation, even though I have been a student for quite some time, going into 2 years. I have noticed that one of the most wonderful things of the group is that even though we could be few in numbers compared to what the population of the earth is, I see how the consciousness of the entire group is growing so strongly that we are becoming a powerful group that can create and dictate the shape of the earth we want to live in. I have seen how different people have made wishes and have bring up their concerns about the situation throughout the world, and how as a group, as a collective, we have been able to set up wishes that are starting to come forward and become a reality. I do find that it's very important that we all understand this and that we every day reassure more that power, so that we can really, through the uniting of consciousness of everyone, be able to manifest the wish of Mr. Keshe, and that we become like this small nucleus that is going to shape the future of what is to come in the foundation and in the world. I'm very happy, I'm very eager, and for me it was very important to see how Mr. Keshe came the other day and said that we needed to be the solutions, not the problem, and that we needed to tackle it from that standpoint. For me, that was very important and crucial, because I always thought, or no, not thought, but always had this position in which I thought that we needed to point the problems, but not become involved in bringing the solution. And I think for me, that was immense in terms of opening my eyes and seeing how I can be more proactive.
Thank you very much, Jeanette. Is that your message? I think we lost her. Flint, I noticed that you're also present. You're part of the team. Would you like to give us your vision, please?
Yes, hi everyone.
Hi, Flint.
Yeah, this last weekend was certainly a new revelation and entry into a new period for the Keshe Foundation. And I see it growing by leaps and bounds in the next few years to become transformational for everybody on this planet, whether they know of it or not. And there's a lot of work that a lot of people have been put in behind the scenes here that have expanded and make everything run. And it's a great honor to be a part, even a small part of that. I think that in the future, we're actually entering a new phase or a new history of mankind, starting with this last weekend.
More to share, Flint? Because you have your ears and your eyes and your connection with so much in the foundation, you're working a lot behind the screens, and your work is really appreciated.
I'm not sure what you're asking.
If you can see where you wish, where we can bring more positive things, changes.
In the foundation?
Because it sparks so many. Among knowledge seekers, among students, among wherever you notice that you might have a positive solution for. Because you communicate with a lot of people, so they must have given you a lot of hints. That's why I'm trying to get into your surprise bag, as we call it.
Yeah, I would like to be able to help the transcribing teams more, and to, you know, because the kind of the wind has gone out of the sails, at least on the English team, or it's just been too much to row the boat. So I need to figure out a solution there to bring some answers to the problems that they have, and I'll be working with over the next couple of weeks here with them to do that. So I'm excited to learn about any new changes that are coming up. I think that there's been some restructuring in the education department there that we're excited to hear about. And
Thank you, Flint.
yes,
I'm
I
not going to
apologize.
push you.
I'm still
No, it's
recovering from
okay.
this last weekend here, so it's like I'm a little...
I know, you're exhausted. Thank you for being there. It is not only thank you to you, but it is a thank you to all, whoever was and had a finger, as we say, in the pot, to be able to cook the pot to boiling point that we could present this beautiful 2 days. It's taken a lot of time and work and effort and knowledge and expertise and understanding. And that, I think that was the most beautiful, shocking thing, that every single thing that was presented was fully understood, and it was so easy for people to understand it too. I think a lot of hurdles of fear has been overcome this weekend. A lot of hesitation has been bridged. A lot of not know what, how, or where. I've seen surprises in the messages all over the internet. People have understood that it is within their understanding to be able, or within their grasp, to be able to make the difference. And that was the spark.
And behind the scenes, there was a lot of people that had their hands in helping with creation of the video that was shown at the very end of the presentation on Sunday. And I'm happy to be a part of that team that made that happen. It was a lot of work and a lot of love went into that. And I know that it was received very well by everyone. And it's those types of creations that I think that help, that can help bind the teams together and help share the knowledge and information of the foundation to the world.
Thank you so much. I think today has shown that we are getting the grasp of the message of Mr. Keshe from last week. And now it's going to start building up very fast. It has shown the path, and it has brought so much understanding to start looking and analyzing where you are, who you are, what you are, and what you can bring as a change. Don't hesitate. You can do it. As Mr. Keshe said in the soul teaching, you can. You definitely can. Because as Mr. Keshe repeated it so many times, none of the people who have done those 2 days presentation or of any specific professional. As Mr. Keshe said so many times, somebody's microphone is open. That is, we're all equal. We all come with our own beauty, with our own gift. Just show us your gift and share it with us. And wherever you have received today, the spark that where some need is requested, please put your shoulders on it as a family. It's temporarily until somebody else comes and joins and puts an extra shoulder under the team. It works. Even if it's a few hours a week, it does miracles. And I thank Dr. Klaus, and all the ones which have been working on the wiki. They're doing a great job, but that counts for every department of the knowledge, the foundation. It is a marvelous job. Thank you so much. Would you like to share something more, Rick, for today, or do you see any more hands that would like to share something for today?
Yes, there's a couple of things. Fernando had his hand up quite a long time ago, so we should allow him to speak. Fernando.
We need a translator, please.
Gracias. Buenas tardes. Cada vez que...
Fernando, buenas noches. Fernando, buenas tardes. Un momento, per favore. Dove avere una traduzione, per favore? Ursula, are you present?
Yes, I can, of course, but I'm asking John. He has a better English than me. But I don't know if he's there.
Okay.
John, are you there?
John?
Normally, yes.
Most probably he needs to be, I think he needs to be promoted to have the microphone.
Yes, please. He will.
Yes, now I'm present here.
Welcome, John. Thank you for the translation. Fernando, parlare, per favore.
Ya puedes hablar, Fernando.
Gracias. Oye, el italiano es más sencillo. Bueno. Gracias. Cada vez que entro, mi corazón se emociona y tengo que tomar las cosas con calma. Bien.
Déjame. My heart rebounds when all these things come along, and I've got to take it calmly. Adelante.
Están llegando nuevos alumnos que están elevando sus almas a través de la comprensión de este conocimiento.
There are many students that have risen or are heightening their souls with all this knowledge. Adelante.
Cada alumno tiene capacidades y experiencias en la vida que nos hacen únicos y diferentes, y todos son bienvenidos porque todos tienen alma.
All the students, each one of them is different in their own way, and they all put their grain of salt into the system. So this we have to comprehend and help them out, and so they can lift up their soul. Adelante, Fernando.
Desde tiempos antiguos está escrito que estamos para servir y no ser servido. Era todo, muchas gracias y seguimos trabajando.
History has always taught us that we're here to serve and not to be served. So thank you all very much for all this, and we'll continue working. Thank you.
Thank you, Fernando. Anybody else, Rick? Thank you, John.
It's a pleasure.
Yes, we have Dean. Dean has his hand up. Would you like to go ahead, Dean?
Am I unmuted?
Yes, go ahead.
Yes, you are.
I am present. Blessings to all. Boy, I was in the weekend and I've been here present for a long time. Now, I believe Mr. Keshe threw down a gauntlet, as I understood it, over the weekend, between those who are operating in the soul and are going to manifest creation, or the bringing together the elements into physicality, and those people within this grouping that are using physicality to bring into existence physicality. Did I put that right? Did he throw down a gauntlet between the two groups of the Keshe Foundation, those of the soul and those of the physical who are working with the technologies? That's a question. I'm going to be quiet for a second to have it answered.
He defined that no matter what path you will choose, you will grow. So you cannot separate the two because your soul is within your physicality. It's just from which window you're going to start operating first because you're together.
Okay, because I operate out of both the soul and the physicality, like with what the Keshe Foundation is bringing. I have things that take care of the physicality of mankind, animals, and the planet. But I've also been working within the spirit in order to bring these things about. And sometimes I wonder if the physicality is important to bring it forth, because I've been working on this for such a long time, or if we are actually at this point translating ourselves out of physicality where we don't need those physical things, or is the earthbound spirit together or separated from those who are spacebound? That's a question I'm looking.
I'm sorry, at this moment it's going to be a little bit loud. Topoli is making a lot of noise, so I have to put my microphone off. Maybe Rick or somebody else can assist you with this one.
Yeah,
I'm going to bring Mr. Keshe in a minute.
Okay. One thing I would say about that is that there's a full range of dimensions or viewpoints that people have on this planet. So I think that if part or most or some of the population is elevated to a different level, perhaps to the level of the soul where the physicality is no longer part of that picture, then that is for that group, let's say. There may still be a group that needs the physicality is identified with that level and hasn't raised to the level of separating with the soul and so on. So I think all levels need to be accommodated. And just because one rises to a higher level, that doesn't mean that the lower levels are no longer there. It may not be in your direct vision so much, but that gives the opportunity to help the lower levels. So this is part of the ability I think we have as humans, is we're able to travel between these various levels. And perhaps if we are a master at it, we can learn to go up to the highest levels and then deliberately go back to the lowest levels to help those in those levels from their perspective, to get them elevated. And that's one of the jobs of the universe, as the way I see it. Once you become elevated, you don't just go off on vacation and you're elevated and there you are and you're, you know, totally happy in your little world. There becomes there's job openings, there's opportunities to help others, to extend the teaching, extend the knowledge. And that knowledge is taught on various levels. And Mr. Keshe has gone through this before, starting with the physicality level of the actual, if you look at it in terms of the elements, you're looking at an actual element would be the physicality level. And the next level up of dimension would be the nano level, where you have that nano coding is a different dimension, a different level than the matter level copper, let's say. And then you go into another level above the nano. And there's people that get involved in the copper level. They're stuck with copper wires and doing electrical tests and doing, you know, working with motors and generators and things that are made with this physicality copper wire and physicality matter level stuff. And then there's others that are working with the nano level, the nano layers and the plasma that's involved within these layers, and how do we work with that, and how do we extract the energy out of it, how do we use that for creating reactors and this kind of thing. And then you can get, one can get stuck in that level very easily for years and years and years and do all the research just on the nano level. But then we learn that there's the GANs level, which is another level above the nano, where we have these self-contained suns within this new type of material that's a cross between the physicality world and the plasma world. And so we could put our attention on GANs and be totally focused on that, and be, you know, and then help the people in the nano level and the physical element level to come up to the GANs level. But then we find out, whoa, there's another level beyond the GANs level, that we are GANs ourselves, and we can use ourselves to access higher dimensions, let's say, or a higher viewpoint, a different perspective once again. And it works into the soul level. And if you look at that as a series of dimensions or a series of viewpoints that one can adopt, well, they're all valid in one way. So it's just a matter of where one is on that scale. And it seems like there's more freedom in a way as you go up the scale. If you look at the way the actual atoms are, they're very much locked together in the element scale. You go into the nano scale, they're opened up, they have more elbow room. You go into the GANs level, and all of a sudden there's a complete freedom in a sense. If you look at that lovely CO2 GANs in the water, how it's like a cloud in there and so on. And then we go into the next level of working with the soul, working on the soul levels, and going into the idea that maybe we can go to space without a physicality. And so what I'm saying is all of these dimensions, all of these viewpoints need to be accommodated. And just because some or all or part of the population elevates to a higher level does not mean that there won't be others that still need help, still need assistance for quite some time. I don't believe that everything could happen necessarily all at once. So and that since we're all on different levels now, if we all elevated one level, then those in the matter level would go to the nano, those in the nano go to the GANs, those in the GANs go to the soul level, and so on. It's an evolutionary process. There's a natural sort of steps to it. So I think if we recognize that and don't get fixated on any one step, but know that as humans, we can go and live in any of these levels as we so choose. If we wish to make a matter level physicality spaceship, then yes, we can do that. If we wish to make our soul as our vehicle for moving to space? Yes, we can do that. And yes, perhaps we can do both. And, or perhaps the answer is neither, is some mixture of things in between or above whatever it is that I happen to be talking about. So there's a lot out there, and I just wanted to sort of make people aware of that idea that there's many steps, and the idea is to be able to step, not stuck on any step. Okay, I think that's all I needed to say there. But I went on a little bit more than I thought I was going to, but perhaps it might be useful to someone.
Well, I appreciate that. It's like I'm living, I live within the physical. I've operated primarily out of the soul, and out of the soul, I've brought into manifestation many things in the physical. Now, with solutions, I know the Keshe Foundation has manufacturing and research in Arizona, and I am thinking about going and visiting them very soon, because I have some physical answers that came to me before I started understanding plasma, although I understood elements, because for years I stood as the sun rose and I said, I command the elements to take heed and obey those things that I say in order to bring about the desires of my heart. And I believe because of those things, some things were delivered into my hands that are game changers for the physicality of the earth and the inhabitants of the earth, going from mineral to carbon, or which would be carbon uptake plants, carbon degradation, which is creating the carbon chains that are necessary for the creation of the carbon chains within plants, the releasing of the minerals, the breaking down of the hydrocarbons and the carbons in order to render them useful for life of carbon uptake vehicles like the human being, animals, and plants. And all of the technologies that I am talking about are available right now for the benefit of humanity and the planet. Well, you know what? I guess since this is coming to an end, I only can ask or request as I am present for a wish. And that wish is that the heart of the Keshe Foundation, which I believe is for peace and creation, and the other group that I am working with, which is bringing funding, I just wish for its immediate manifestation, because I've wished this for a long time. And if there's anybody who would like to explore the technologies, because I think within the next couple of weeks, I'll have the funding to bring it about. But as it comes about, it has to be integrated between, well, the spirit and the physicality, and the different groups that I'm working with. And I would hope that, because I'm bringing my gifts, I'm bringing all of my gifts, I'm laying them naked out at the table in order, open sourced, in order for the benefit of mankind. I give all, I have always given all, And because of the fact that I will not be corrupted by greed, I am an open conduit of creation for the benefit or for the balance of the elements in peace. I guess that may be the best way I could put it at this moment. I know a lot is going to be happening this week with me, and I know I've like I said, I've been here, I've been listening, I've been experimenting, I've been giving, you know, pain pens and things like this. But there's so much more, and I know that we are on the very the curtain's about to go up, and I think we're about to go on stage. And I think we get to bring what we have been willing to give to the stage and to humanity and to the universe. And just like a great performer who is actually giving out of their heart to their audience, when the audience starts clapping, then the artist says, thank you, because we have put in the work. And if you're a great artist, you've put in the work, unless you were just downloaded with a gift. You put in the work. I've put in the work. We've put in the work. And when the curtain rises, everybody gets to be in awe if it's a good production. And then when the curtain comes down and they see what the production has been, then there's the ovation. And good Lord, I think we've built the sets. We've put our souls into this. And we've seen some manifestation in physicality, but I think it's time for my wish. My wish is that the curtain go down on the preparation work, and that we get to see the manifestation of the physicality of the systems that'll take care of the planet and the humanity, so that we can translate ourselves beyond the point of Maslow's hierarchy of needs into a place where we begin to learn the soul and how it creates. I guess that'd be my wish. And with that, I just want to thank you all for being here, and the souls that have brought this thing forward, because the projects I've been working on, had I not been intertwined here, they would have gone forward anyway. But by having an opportunity to interface with these technologies and people within my family, my group, outside of the Keshe Foundation, some of them are here with me here, with Keshe. So I'm not going to ramble on. I'm just going to say thank you, and I'm present, and let my wish become physicality. And I'm going to mute myself, and thank you.
Thank you, Dean. I am present for your wish. Now we have Maria that's had her hand up for a while, and we also have Pia with her hand up now. Marie, would you like to go ahead?
Yes, because I want to give my vision on the weekend that we had, because it was so beautiful, and it was like it was the sum of everything we learned this far. And I also had this feeling that I understood something more, how important it is to make all these fields that we are learning about to flow. So we create this flow, and we can use like the CO2 technique with the plates and create this flow in our reactors. And it's also all the same. It's the same if it's health or it's a spaceship or an oasis system or whatever. So it's so beautiful. And when you showed these reactors, I think from Austria, one of them were called Joy. And I was sitting here up in Norway, and I could really feel that reactor. And I was thinking, oh my God, we are so connected, everyone in Keshe Foundation. And there's another thing that I was thinking about that Mr. Keshe has said, and that he says that, I think, in the UC video. He says that we have to remember to stay humble, because when this breaks through, and we are very close to this breakthrough of the technology, we have to stay humble because this is so powerful. Yes, and I don't think we have to worry about anything anymore, because I think this power that we will release will change everything so radically. But we have a lot of explaining to do to all those people who have not been in the classes and not learned this technology. We have to explain what this is. So, yeah, that's what I'm left after this weekend. And I thought it was a beautiful broadcast. I didn't see 20 hours, but I saw a lot, and it was so beautiful. If we can rebuild the brain and we can fly to the deeper space, it's just so powerful. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Marie. Pia, would you like to go ahead now?
Yes. Hello, everybody. I just want to add my also my thoughts about all this, and I will say thank you for this fantastic presentation that was this weekend. And I just want to add my 2 cents. It's like we have reached a balance point, and we are getting more united, and it's spreading out everywhere. And I also got very inspired when I heard, I think it was Jamila, who mentioned about how we could get closer to get the fear away from the religions, people who could be afraid of if the religion was touched about this in a way that they would not prefer, but that's not the case at all. I just want to support this movement that we are in right now. We are expanding, and the understanding is getting spread, and the unity is getting stronger. And in this, I also see that we are expanding. We will expand to reach not only the religions to get united, like we all could be united, but also to the organizations. There are many peace organizations and technological groups who are working in several areas and fields. And I think we can do more to really make a bridge. Bridges and bridges are creating now. And this is really fantastic. I also think we are going closer to a breakthrough. And those bridges we can build to reach many organizations and to support this, that they can get a deeper understanding how this technology is implemented in our society and on the whole planet. So I just want to say thank you to everyone. And thank you to Mr. Keshe and Caroline and the whole group of teams and all the work that you're doing. Thank you very much.
Very good. Thank you, Pia. I see Paul has his hand up now. So Paul, go ahead.
Hello, all dear humanity. My impression about what we have got as confirmation in this weekend was confirmation of a long dream for me. Since I was children, I have been dreaming to get the world where everything was possible. And searching, looking for that dream all my life, I have seen the confirmation of this dream when I have joined the KF Foundation. And step by step, I was getting the confirmation that was the right place where the world of limits will be broken. And by my own experience, I have learned a lot about this technology. That's why I say and say again that nothing can take my faith in this technology. And what we have got in weekends have been very, very big confirmation for all my dreams since I was children. The world where there is no limits. The world where the question mark of everyone have got answer. The world where we sit together to design the next future of human race. For this gift, as human race, you and me, everyone have to put together what we have as intelligence, as potential, as efforts for all human race to achieve the world of possibility. In this world, everyone can live in peace because there is no limit for anyone because of this or that. So we thank Ms. Keshe, Caroline, Flint, Rick, and the rest of us who have contributed in the foundation to get at these steps of evolution in the human race. What the foundation have achieved is not only for KF Foundation or KF Foundation supporter. It is for all human race, because all human race now get the new source where they can, without any hesitation, say, I am human, because there is nothing about what I am worried from now. With this gift, dear human, see what we can do for all humans to move to the next step with this technology. You have seen with me all improvements, development of this technology, which have really opened the space for human race. I repeat again, there is no border from now on, because all of us, we can come in Africa because we have the space in Africa, or we can go in Europe, or we can go in America because we need each other for us to be in peace. And the beautiful thing is, as Mr. Keshe have said, Muslim and Christian sit together to develop this technology. Because of life, in what everyone believe, we believe in life except nothing. Because of this life in which everyone believe, everyone are looking where he can extend his life, where he can understand his life, where this life will be possible. With the event of plasma technology, the life is possible everywhere. So from there, the space is open for us to understand now where we choose to get our life, where we choose to go, and how we choose to live in this planet or other where on this universe. You can see how man have reached at the point where he has confirmed that he is the God for himself. And that is amazing. And you can see how the scientists of the foundation and the rest of us have developed or contributed in this technology is happy about what have been achieved. That become the common property for human race. So for that, we need to celebrate human race. We need to celebrate the evolution of human race. To say together, yes, we can, and we need to say we need to go more in further. Let go more in depth, and then more in the development of this technology. So I invite everyone. This is not the concern of population or some part of human race or some politician class, or this is the concern of all human race. So every one of us get concerned in the development of this technology. The rest of the previous technology, everyone know how that was developed. And you and me, nobody knows the secrets of what we are using. Nobody knows the secret of what have been achieved. All things have been kept in secrets. But by the will of Mr. Keshe, to broach all analysts on the same table and broke all the barrier, we have this beautiful knowledge, this beautiful resource on where we can sit and cry so high that we are human race. So let's come together, politician, agriculture, doctor, whatever you are, Your place is here. Come here and then start working with the foundation, with the knowledge, and then let go together more in further. Politicians need this technology because they have to protect the population. There are so many problems in this world, and they cannot handle that because the technology was hiding or the technology was not there. But today, the tool.
Hello?
Hello.
Hello? Yeah, we lost you just for us in the last sentence there, Paul. Would you like to finish up?
Hello.
Go ahead. Can you hear me?
Okay, thank you. Yes, I can hear you. So I invite all the politicians because if the politician understands the power of this technology and put their hand together, that can feed all the population in the world. And we can live in peace for the first time on this planet Earth. Everyone can take what he needs here. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Paul, and I am present for your wish. Thank you very much for being present with the Keshe Foundation over these years as well. And your English is getting much better, I must say, too. Okay, I think we're reaching toward the end of our show here now. Is there anyone else that would like to say something at this point who hasn't been heard from?
Would you like to hear from me?
Oh, goodness. Yes, last but certainly not least. Thank you, Mr. Keshe.
Sorry, I just arrived just half an hour ago or so, and I listened to a lot of things. First of all, we'll repeat it again on Thursday teaching. Thanks to the whole of the Keshe Foundation team. That's hundreds of people, the ones who listened, the one who organized, the one who taught, the one who showed their work. Last weekend has been a turning point, not just for us, but for a lot of people who are around, been watching, and very much been keeping an eye on the work of the foundation. We have broken through huge grounds. Some of the main reasons of it is the way we share the knowledge so openly across the spectrum of the science. Medicine, space, energy, motion, materials, and everything else is never been done. And what governments consider to be secret, top secret, and just belongs to them has all gone to the bin. Many scientific organizations have found themselves paralyzed since Saturday. They write to me, they informed us that there is a reconsideration for the Keshe Foundation internationally, because the work was shown, especially with coma, was so mathematically calculated. They saw the science in it. It was a turning point. Then the production of material, it could have been much, much deeper, but it was just showing. But the research papers or the measurement papers could have been delivered to show scientifically that the material has been made, but surely we're going to further build on that. And in so many ways, as someone told me, The turning point of the taboo about a space lift was literally demolished because we showed this before. We had this, but not many people knew. The weight reduction from Iran 9 years ago. It was something achieved today. It gives you the date, January, February 2009. And this was it raised question with number of governments that Iran truly is ahead of the space technology. They've been keeping it so humbly down, and has risen a lot of question with Middle Eastern nation. And we'll see changes in that direction very rapidly, hopefully in a good way, that the demonstration of the weight reduction by Iranian reactor 10 years ago, 9 years ago, shows 9 years ahead of any other organization. What has raised the question is, why has it been kept secret? Why Iran is not sharing? But that's what Iran has to answer internationally, because in so many ways, the second generation, which we shown in what you call Arizona, has created more mayhem. And we'll see where we go. I've been debriefed very rapidly in the past 48 hours from a number of governments' point of view. Some of the leading nations in the world have taken notice, and we'll see the changes of it, which will bring to their scientists, not directly to the Keshe Foundation. There is a reconsideration for how to handle this new technology. And reconsideration is not coming from a government or change. The change is coming across the planet. The way we organized it, if you noticed, that it was done very, we explained it before, the medical came from South America. It showed Dr. Rodriguez and what do you call cleverness of how Claudia and Dr. Rodriguez have used this. The breakpoint came in a way repeating the coma, that it can be done. And it was more or less single power of the technology by one man with no, what do you call it, degrees as a doctor or a PhD or whatever. An ordinary man like Giovanni. Then we brought the matter and science of materials into Europe with the class, trying to get as much information as possible from Wikipedia and others, and the team putting it together. Then we brought agriculture out of Africa with Jim and Dr. Gatwa. And then the way it was shown is tested across the world. Then we saw the, what I call the power of the flight system through Iran as the Asia. And then we showed the space technology with what it is, United States. It was a truly international, and this has shaken a lot of scientific organizations. I've received a number of requests to take new actions in different directions, which we will consider in the coming days in how to take these actions that is beneficial for the foundation. We'll describe it as it comes, but overall, the soul of the foundation has increased. A lot of people who were just withering what's going to happen next, they have seen things, and it's given them to go to a new cycle. And we are watching a number of Keshe Foundation supporters across nations and continents have started collaborating for the race to the space. Last time was the Americans and the Russians lying to each other as much as they could and threatening. Now I see people from different continents, because they see somewhere they can do something, they start collaborating. We see communications on the internet, different individuals getting in touch with other individuals, trying to come up with it. And on Thursday, we'll make drastic announcements in respect to the Keshe Foundation work. It's just We need another 24 hours, 48 hours to complete it before the teaching. And we'll put the framework in. And the race is on. The race is on for humanity to make one nation after this planet. As Paul said, Africa will be a land that a lot of us will move to live, and America and Europe will be the same for a lot of others who wants to see it. I think we'll see a flood for a few months and then settle down. Everybody goes back because the homeland is better. I can stay home and come and do the work and go. As I said, we made it so possible that the world presidents can fly to each other's presidential palaces. And so the cleaners of the hotels can live in Africa in the morning, go to work in Beijing or in New York and back home. It'll be the standard cost of a ticket today. These are the realities which are coming in. And it's very, very interesting, but we've changed. I have seen governments moving in past 24 hours, literally immediately after the teaching, daylights after the teaching, a lot moved. Number of nations have started considering. We have seen a response from the White House. We are waiting to see what their official response will be. We'll read it to you hopefully on Thursday. They have responded because now they realize what Iran can do. Read the headlines. President Trump has asked from Pentagon prudence. No president has ever asked, because up to the day before, there was no prudence. And now you understand the effect of new technology on peace. This is, just read the press and understand what's behind it. The day before, they were calling for everything. And immediately the day after, they're asking for prudence because they know what we said at Keshe Foundation will deliver to create world peace. It's not a threat, it's a rejoicement that we managed to end up the wars. This is the way I look at it, and this is the way the people in the Keshe Foundation looks at it. That we, after Sunday, especially after the showing of the Iranian reduction for the first time so openly, has raised a lot of governments to think twice before contemplating on any. And if you go back to my teaching on Thursday, I said, if B, we show the power. And the last time I said we show the power, we captured the most powerful American in the space program. And this time we'll do it for humanity. I wrote to my son this morning, I said, I hope Syria is the last war mankind will see. And you have to understand the way I brought the pictures of the world leaders meeting, how America was sidelined to the fringes, and made a lot of people understood. Now the message has got right directly to the White House. When the president asks for prudence, means we are in danger. Guys, watch. And as I said, Thursday we talked about it. On Sunday we showed it, and we got a response on Monday morning. This is how this technology should be. Raises the world leaders towards peace, and we see they might do some other things trying to push and shove, but in next 2 or 3 weeks, we'll see a lot of changes. And more or less, it depends on us. If us, it'll be nice, the Americans, the Africans, the Europeans, the Asians, Australians, work together and solve the riddle of the flight, truly not throwing each other away just because they're trying to get their way in. Understand it, do exactly what Giovanni did, you crack it. Then the first flight will be international. Then you all can copy in each continent and start flying to each other. Borders gone. That's all we need to do. And we have a report, is on part of the Islamic report. The place which was hit was in possession of the Keshe Foundation technology in Damascus this week. That is for the government to deny or confirm. It's the second time Israelis have hit scientific positions in Syria, claiming to be part of the technology which is carried by part of the knowledge of developed in Iran, and that scares them. I can send you Islamic reports, magazines, and newspapers. There is a fear, and the fear should not be Arab countries, the fear should be the whole of humanity progressing towards peace. These are the kicks of the dead man, the last kicks, and you will see it. So, as the beauty of how it was finished on Thursday, the way Universal Council members individually came and spoke in their own languages, that created a mayhem, because now everybody is in it. It's not just English or whatever. And as I said, we set up a government, we set up a council, and we have established our own currency. And I explained more, one of the things which nobody has understood about the coin. And we have established our own banking system and finance system through technology. We have become a self-sufficient nation as one nation. And it's just for other nations to amalgamate and follow our ethos. Thank you very much for Rick, and thank you very much for Prince, Ella, and the whole of the Keshe Foundation. About 20, 30 people worked for 2 weeks solid to make sure the program could be on perfectly. Thank you very much. And we'll speak on Thursday in depth in what is the next step for all of us towards the ultimate goal. Because now it's not one agency, it's the whole of the Keshe Foundation, hundreds of thousands of people working in different ways. Medical, the space, the one who doesn't know the space can do the material, and we explain more and more. Thank you very much, and thanks for all your support.
Thank you, Mr. Keshe. If this wasn't for you, then we wouldn't be here all pulling together to do this, probably. So I think I'd like to wrap it up for today's broadcast. We have our video to also show here. I see Estella has her hand up, but we really need to, and if you can say something quickly, Estella, then I can allow you to talk here. Go ahead.
I'm speechless, but I just want to say thank you to Fabio, to Noemi. I think their souls, we're all one. They're a big part of this big movement and change. And I'm with a lot of gratitude and speechless, and wanted to be part of Elevate and Elevate and Elevate. And thank you to all.
Okay, thank you, Estella. And that'll bring to a close the 36th One Nation, One Planet, One Race for World Peace for Tuesday, April 17th, 2018. As always, thank you everybody for attending. And we'll look forward to next week's session of this particular One Nation, One Planet, One Race installment. And well, on Thursday, we have the Knowledge Seekers Workshop at the usual time of 10 o'clock a.m. Central European Time.
Isn't it 9, Rick?
Oh, sorry. Oh, that's right. It's 9 on Thursdays for that program.
And you also have the Plasma Reactor Group tomorrow morning at 7 a.m., I believe?
Yes, that's right.
Did you have anything special planned for this Plasma Reactor Group?
Well, I'm working on sort of a history of the Keshe Plasma Reactor Group and trying to pull in, I'm composing a list of all of the prime, I guess you say, breakthroughs or milestones that we've had in the last few years. And there have been quite a few interesting scientific and technological sort of breakthroughs or concepts that need to be definitely explored more. And so I'm trying to, it's such a large body of information that it's hard to get a handle on it. I just start getting into it, and it's just huge. So I'm working on that. I'll have something available for the workshop when it comes up here in approximately 12 hours.
And that will be broadcast to YouTube, Facebook, live stream, usual channels. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay, fantastic. Flint, are you ready?
Yes, I am. Sorry about that.
Okay, then take it away, Flint, and we'll end this broadcast with their video.
From the beginning of time, humans have always looked towards the sky for inspiration and guidance. There has been a fascination with birds, stars, gods, goddesses, and other entities which seem to exist above us, and for many humans, a strong yearning to travel into space. Man has dreamt of flight since observing space, and now it is time to become the space traveller. The future of space travel requires us to understand from where we came, to see where we are going.
Several thousand years ago, philosophers Mozi and Lu Ban from China were looking to the wind for flight. They invented kites using silk and bamboo, allowing for the later development of communication, measuring distances, testing the wind, and lifting men.
The invention of the kite brought with it the desire to fly. The first known attempts at flight were typically by leaping off towers, known as tower jumping. People in China, India, and Europe first attempted flight this way.
In 1670, Francesco Lana de Tarzi published a book that showed some interesting concepts. The concept of copper foil in a sphere with a vacuum would produce a vacuum airship. This is still not possible with today's materials. Francesco is recognized as the father of aeronautics, melding science and mathematics into aerial navigation.
The Chinese are believed to have developed the first hot air device. The Chinese lantern using hot air from a candle can take flight and was first used for signalling. The hot air balloon achieved the first human lift and advanced to what we know of as the Zeppelin.
The first attempts at flight in a heavier-than-air flying machine were made by more than just the Wright brothers. Most attempts failed, however, they were the stepping stones for what was to come later. The oldest airport, College Park, is still in operation today.
Airplanes evolved rapidly through the century, from propeller to helicopter to jet aircraft, and most of that technology is used today.
During the Second World War, Germany developed rockets that could go a limited distance. The basic rocket technology used then is still used today. The space race started with the Soviet Union and the USA in 1957 and led to many developments for the next step, the moon.
The spacecraft assigned as Apollo 11 was the first spacecraft to have landed on the moon. The space shuttle operated at tremendous cost. Burning the fuel proved to be wasteful and dangerous technology. The International Space Station, ISS, is a habitable artificial satellite that was assembled in low Earth orbit in 1998 with the use of the space shuttle, the ISS can often be seen with the naked eye from Earth.
SpaceX, as a private aerospace producer and space transportation services company, was founded in 2002 by Elon Musk with the goal of reducing space transportation costs and enabling the colonization of Mars. SpaceX reuses the first stage of their primary rocket, Falcon 9, by vertical propulsive landings. Although, up to present time, it still uses the rocket fuel burning technology. Mehran Keshe has always said, the time for burning fuels is over, but did we need to start with that technology in the first place?
Ancient cultures have suggested the use of an alternative means of transportation. With reference to possible plasma technology,
you can go to New York from Brussels within 2 to 5 minutes. And most of this 5 minutes is actually landing and getting up.
Mehran Tavakoli Keshe was born in Iran in 1958. As the son of an X-ray engineer, he was introduced to the world of radiation and nuclear science at a very young age. In 1981, he graduated from Queen Mary, the University of London, as a nuclear engineer specialized in reactor technology system control. At that time, he developed a number of theoretical ideas related to more simple nuclear concepts and their applications. In 2002, he decided to finish the full design of his ideas about nuclear technology. This included the creation and control of gravity and energy by the use of nuclear materials in a clean and safe hydrogen reactor. Mehran Keshe introduced the concept of double magnetic fields to explain the magnetic and gravitational field of Earth.
Unknown by the existing scientific community, he wrote a number of scientific papers in 2004 and sent them for peer review, such as the creation of black holes. When one of the persons performing the peer review used his information in public, he decided to draw back his papers and to concentrate further on building prototypes.
Since the beginning of 2006, several prototypes of dynamic reactors have been built, some specifically designed to create hovering effects, similar to effects seen with magnetic levitation. Basic hovering effects have been achieved. 2007 brought the first flight test with radioactive material, in which the patents describe the process of the field interactions.
The main patent, Gravitational and Energy System, described the initial fundamental aspects of the plasma and uses. This was followed by the supplemental patent, Microplasma Reactors, where further uses and advancements were described. Mr. Keshe found himself in Iran in 2008 and was provided all the resources needed to create the first lift of a plasma reactor managed by the Iranian government. These special rotating gas reactors were used to control the plasma. To bring a deeper understanding, Mr. Keshe released the first book in 2009, The Universal Order of Creation of Matters, which contained many new concepts released to the public. This included the PMTIC plasma magnetic fields, initial fundamental plasma and plasma dilution technology used for space reactors. The plasma technology was further developed and it manifested in weight fluctuation in a controlled environment. 2010 introduced a new state of matter called GANS, an acronym for gas in nanosolid state. The GANS produces fields to be used in the operation of the Spaceship. Advanced flight tests were performed in Iran with the guidance of Mr. Keshe and the newly designed systems.
Mr. Keshe tells us you can't bring all the doctors with you in space. Medical research advanced in 2010 and is still being explored daily all around the world. The Keshe Foundation has provided knowledge for dealing with many medical conditions in space.
A great example of plasma technology used for peaceful process is the capturing of the USA drone over Iran in December 2011. This drone was touted as one of the most advanced drones of its day, and was caught by Iran using plasma to disrupt the communications. Plasma absorbs fields, and the drone uses radio fields for piloting, a natural aspect of the plasma. a barrier of fields.
Book 2, The Structure of the Light, was released in 2011. This book brought forward the understanding of the structure of light as a cylindrical plasma where the light is in possession of all magnetic field strengths. Book 3, The Origin of the Universe, was published later in 2011. Mr. Keshe explained the further operation and interaction of different strengths of the same fields, which then leads to the creation of the universe. These 3 books bring forward a much deeper understanding of the plasma science that is applied worldwide by knowledge seekers and scientists in spaceship research and development.
There were 2 conferences to release the space technology to governments in 2012. The first international presentation in April, Keshe Foundation invited representatives of every country to the first presentation of the plasma technology. The second international presentation in September, Keshe Foundation invited the nations of the world through their ambassadors and their leaders to attend a gathering at the Keshe Foundation Center in Nenove, Belgium.
Space travel requires peace. The implementation of the plasma technology brings greater responsibility. In 2013, Mr. Keshe brought forward the World Peace Treaty. Signing of the peace treaty is a confirmation from yourself to your soul to act correctly in a peaceful manner.
In 2014, knowledge seekers came together from around the world to learn from Mr. Keshe, and many different experiments with reactors were performed, including improving the previously developed reactors to fit with the new knowledge, introduction of nano-coated reactors, multi-core GaN systems. The Spaceship Institute lab experiments were streamed live on the internet for all to see. SSI lab tests with reactors showed strong magnetic field pulses up to 129 Tesla and showed significant weight fluctuations. In December, an experiment was performed using reactors built by knowledge seekers from around the world. Italy, Germany, and Canada were involved in field communication tests. The tests showed that fields can interact with each other no matter the distance or time, resulting in instant communication.
In 2015, developments for space continued with different aspects of the plasma technology, such as in health, energy, and decontamination. In October of 2015, Mr. Keshe taught a popular week-long course called the Blueprint Teachings about how to build the MAGRAV power units. People from all over the world participated with building their own MAGRAV units and teaching others. With the demand of the Keshe Foundation products from all over the world, a new research center and manufacturing opened in Arizona, USA. Many developments of the technology happened in different parts of the world, and Keshe Foundation USA is no exception. John and the team started performing experiments using different sensing tools. These tools allowed the team to visualize the MAGRAV fields and to show others their interactions. With reactor formations showing positive results, partaking in the knowledge together is easier and more joyful than ever. The fun has just begun, says MT Keshe.
Mr. Keshe publicly teaches the space technology through the weekly Knowledge Seekers workshops. Plasma enthusiasts from around the world participate in gathering the knowledge and putting the puzzle together in the space race. All people, irrespective of race, nation or religion, are invited to participate in the exchange of knowledge, thus assisting humanity to live within the ethos of the universe. It is recognized that international cooperation and peace is a prerequisite for mankind to journey into deep space. Individuals and nations are invited to come together in the spirit of collaboration and unity to enable peaceful application and the use of plasma technology for space travel, food, agriculture, energy, transportation, health and more. We are excited to release the Keshe Foundation Spaceship Blueprint to humanity.